Welcome to the Chamber 15 Glitchless guide. In this video, I'm going to show you the beginner route, the advanced route, and some high-level optimizations you can make for Chamber 15. If you haven't seen my Portal Glitchless movement guide, then some of the concepts in here might be a little confusing. I suggest you go watch that video before continuing. First, I'm going to show you the beginner route start to end with no interruptions, then play it back and explain it step by step.
The Enrichment Center is committed to the well-being of all participants. Take and brief counseling will be available at the conclusion of the test. Thank you for helping us help you help us all.
Now that you've seen the full route, I'm going to break it down step by step to make it a little easier to learn. Immediately out of the elevator, shoot a blue against this closest wall. Peek around this corner and shoot the furthest wall up high.
Enrichment Center.
Walk through your portal and shoot blue on this panel. Hold and crouch, shoot orange onto the floor below you. It's optimal that throughout the fling, you're holding crouch the entire time. And if you have portal funneling enabled, which is enabled by default with your game, you need to be holding W when you go through this floor portal. Otherwise, you won't get enough height and you'll hit the barrier. Once you're on the other side of the portal fizzler, you should be shooting a blue down this hallway at the back wall. Look down and QCE into orange. There's an alternative way to do that fling at the beginning that I'm going to show you now. Once standing here, you can shoot your blue portal onto this further panel instead. Then fall into your orange portal, just like you did before. Shoot a blue portal into this hallway. Finally, turn to the right and shoot orange against this wall. This alternative strat is helpful for people who have a hard time hitting the QCE. Furthermore, if you don't like shooting that blue portal down the hallway while in midair, you can wait until you land instead. Look up and to the right and shoot an orange portal above that corridor right next to that sign. Walk through the portal behind you using S and D and then shoot your blue portal onto this black dot. Important to note that it's not necessary to get the orbs as early as possible. If you wind up missing this first cycle, that's okay. Just wait for the next one to come through and grab that one instead. It's important to make sure that these two portals are placed appropriately. If that blue portal is off to the side by too much, the orb will actually hit the wall, not go through the portal, and just bounce back, wasting time. Start walking towards the portal fizzler. It's important not to pass through it until after the orb has gotten through your two portals on the wall. Otherwise, the portals will be deleted, and the orb will not be able to get through them. Once you've gotten through, you want to place a blue portal on the ceiling where this red dot is. Shortly followed by an orange portal wherever the orb is about to hit on the wall. Shoot a blue portal in this gap that's been created by the platform lowering. Look down and QCE into orange. Look up and to the right and place an orange portal high up on this wall. Look to the right and start walking forwards. You want to line your crosshair up so you're going to shoot a portal on the floor way down this hallway as close to the barrier as possible and as far away from you as possible. You're going to fall into your orange portal on the floor. Again, if you have portal funneling enabled, you might have to hold W as you fall through this portal. Once on the other side of the portal, you need to strafe to the left in a full 180-degree strafe. Once on the other side of the fizzler during your strafe, you want to shoot a blue portal down this hallway. Turn around and shoot orange on this wall closest to you. Crouch to the portal you just shot and look down to your left. This next shot is a little tricky. While on this side of the portal, you're going to want to shoot orange, but when you shoot it, you want to tap A. Doing so will prevent you from falling in the goo and will keep you in the portal. Now hold A to get to the other side of your portal. Once on this side, you want to look up and to the left and find this corner of the entrance. Beyond that corner is the ceiling of the opposing room. On that ceiling, you're going to want to shoot blue, and do the exact same thing we did with the previous portal, but with D to prevent you from falling into the goo and to keep yourself in the portal. You need to turn and walk through this orange portal on the wall. You need to line up your crosshair within this L shape of this blue wire on the ground. Once you fall through the portal enough that you're able to actually shoot, you want to shoot immediately. You want to shoot orange into the floor as soon as you can. I find it most optimal to be holding crouch this entire time, because if this shot is too late and you're not holding crouch, you're more likely to hit your feet on the floor. And just like that, you're on the platform before the elevator. Just make your way over there and you've now completed Chamber 15 Glitchless. And now I'm going to show you the 15 advanced route all the way through with no interruptions, and afterwards I'm going to explain it step by step.
The Enrichment Center is committed to the well-being of all participants. Cake and grief counseling will be available at the conclusion of the test. Thank you for helping us help you help us all.
Now that you've seen the whole advanced route, I'm going to play it back and explain it step by step. Most of the beginning is exactly the same as a beginner route, so I'm not going to commentate on much of it. The most important thing is to do this beginning as fast as you can. The orbs work on cycles, and the faster you get there, the more time you're going to have to work with to catch the first cycle. Not getting the first cycle is a pretty harsh time loss.
The Enrichment Center is committed to the well-being of all participants. Cake and grief counseling will be available at the conclusion of the test.
For this shot, you should aim as far to the right as you can, as it makes the next shot up on that wall a little easier to aim for.
Thank you.
One minor optimization here is that shooting your orange too high will give you a higher fling over the barrier than you need. Somewhere around 1/4 to a halfway up this panel is usually good enough to get you over the next barrier. Shooting too low here can also be very problematic. You want to shoot for at least above this little smidge on the wall.
For helping us help you.
After you get through this floor portal, you're going to be strafing to your left at about 180 degrees. It's important that once you get over the barrier, you start holding S and D to back yourself up towards that wall closest to you.
Help us all.
After you shoot this blue portal, you want to look straight down and hold crouch and backwards the entire time. Right before you hit the floor, you want to shoot your orange portal and strafe to the left. You're going to be doing a very long strafe throughout the air to try and fling yourself into the elevator. This is by far one of the most important optimizations you can make in this chamber, and it's very good to learn. Before you land, you want to let go of crouch. You want to do a standing jump into the elevator, and after you jump from standing, go back into crouch and do small air strafes to get as far into the elevator as possible. With good movement, you can get there in one hop. And just like that, you've completed Chamber 15 even faster than before. Now we're going to look over some high-level optimizations you can make in Chamber 15. Note that these are not typically done in actual runs, they're just technically faster and good to know. First, we're going to talk about something called First Cycle Orb Bounce. It looks something like this.
The Enrichment Center is committed to the well-being of all participants. Cake and grief counseling will be available at the conclusion.
Now that you've seen it, I'm going to break it down step by step. Just like always, we're going to shoot a blue portal against this closest left wall. The rest of this beginning fling is a matter of preference. You can still hit the first cycle orb bounce by doing any of the other beginning strategies shown in this video. After we walk through blue, we want to shoot a portal against the floor near this barrier, but not too close because otherwise you'll hit the barrier on your way up. Fall into your orange portal, and after you get through, you're going to do a 180-degree strafe to the left, getting yourself over the barrier. Shoot a blue portal against the back wall of that hallway. Now QCE into orange. Now look up and to the right and shoot your orange portal in the same spot you usually would. This next shot is a little precise, and you need to make sure you get it in the same spot every time. You want to shoot your blue portal in the middle of that black dot to the top of the panel, not the bottom and not the middle, as high up as you can. Make your way over here and stand underneath the platform. You're going to shoot orange into the floor, lining your crosshair up to be as straight on as you can facing the orb catcher.
Will be available at the conclusion.
And just like that, you've done first cycle orb bounce. The next optimization I'd like to show you is called column boost, and it looks something like this. Now, I'm going to explain how to do this step by step. This first shot is just like you would in the normal route. Same situation for the following orange shot. Now, we're going to peek through and shoot an orange portal on or slightly to the right of this black line here. Now, you're going to turn around and step through that portal. Then, you're going to look to the left side of this opening as close to that white door frame as possible. You only want to be about a few pixels below where that black wall meets the floor. Here, you're going to shoot orange. You'll want to walk out of your portal towards the left. Then, immediately after you fall out, strafe to the right 180 degrees. You're going to want to land on top of this column, which is going to give you a bunch of momentum towards this wall. As you land, you're going to shoot blue into this wall. Finally, you're going to make that same big circular strafe as you would in the advanced route. Just make your way to the elevator and you've successfully done column boost. Now, the final optimization I'm going to cover is called 0th cycle. 0th cycle saves about 3.5 seconds over the normal route, as you're catching the earliest orb cycle possible in Glitchless. Typically when you run this chamber, you're getting what's called first cycle, but by doing a noticeably harder but much faster start with great execution, you can get the cycle before that, but it's very difficult. This strategy actually starts in the elevator on the previous map. Once you finish the previous chamber, you need to push yourself up against this elevator door. Now, with CL_show pause enabled, you want to line your crosshair up so that way you're looking at around 5.35, 9.35. If you go any lower than 9.30, you're going to wind up hitting the wall. On the right side of the screen, you can see the live split timer that SiDiouS is using. You're going to want to shoot when your segment timer says about 1.2. Otherwise, if you're not running with live split, this is going to have to become muscle memory, as you need to shoot as soon as you possibly can. This entire trick is very fast. Immediately after that shot, you need to jump out of the elevator and shoot an orange portal into the floor here. Now, you're going to look up and perform a re-portal through the orange portal. The idea here is you're trying to get flung over that barrier. It makes this re-portal significantly easier if you're crouching. Once you get into the air, you're going to want to uncrouch and recrouch. This will ensure that you have a proper crouch state and your QCE once you get over the ledge does not fail. As soon as you make it over the barrier and the shot becomes available, you need to make this shot down the hallway. As soon as you hit the ground, you're going to perform a QCE. Just like you usually would, you're going to look up and to the right and shoot your orange portal above that opening next to the sign. Now, using S and D, you're going to walk backwards at an angle out of your portal and shoot blue against this black dot. This is just like the normal strat, except you're on a much tighter time crunch here. Immediately turn to the right and start jumping towards this fizzler. You want to make sure that when you start bunny hopping towards the fizzler, you're looking directly at it and not at an angle off to the left or right. This is to ensure that all of your momentum is headed straight for the fizzler. Again, you're on a very serious time crunch here, and you're barely going to make these upcoming shots. After that second jump, you want to hold crouch. Then immediately start lining your crosshair up for the next couple shots. As soon as you make it to the other side of the fizzler, you need to look up to the ceiling and shoot your blue portal here. This needs to be as fast as you possibly can, because that orb is going to be very close to hitting that back wall. With your few moments to spare, look down to this wall and shoot your orange portal wherever that orb is about to land. And just like that, you've completed 0th cycle. This is by far the hardest optimization to learn for this chamber, but the most time save possible.